Hey everybody, you're watching CAD Roll Hunter. I have 20 rolls of Canadian pennies. These came from a bank in Toronto. We're looking for some oldies. We're looking for any errors, varieties, maybe something valuable. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is James and you're watching my CAD Roll Hunter. You might remember a while ago I purchased a huge hoard of pennies from a subscriber of mine in the Toronto area. We did a big bag of pennies. We found tons of foreigns. Well, today we're back to our 20 roll format. I can't tell what's in here. We're not going to get big foreign coins in these rolls, of course, but we might still find some oldies. We're going to separate all the copper out because that is worth more than its face value. But we want to find some oldies. We might find some errors or varieties. There are lots of things we can look for in Canadian pennies. I've got my tools out here. I've got my digital scale. That's helpful to make sure that we know that we've found copper versus zinc or steel. And I've got my magnet. Today I'm going to use my Fervid's Finds magnet. So go check out his channel on YouTube. He's got coin roll hunting and other coin collecting content as well. Let's dig into these rolls and see what we can find. So no finds in roll number one, but here's the breakdown so far. We're getting a little bit of copper, like maybe 20% is copper. The rest is steel or zinc. Got a few US copper, a couple of US zinc, but no older stuff in that first roll. Roll number two, there is a last year penny 2012. That is the last year the penny was produced, and it came out of circulation pretty quickly after these were made. And we no longer use pennies in day-to-day transactions. Now here are some varieties you can look for. A lot of the later Canadian pennies were made in both steel and zinc. So consequently, the steel ones are going to be magnetic and the zinc ones won't. Here are a couple 2009s. The one on the left here does not touch the magnet, doesn't get attracted to it. That is made of zinc. This one over here is made of steel. In 2009, the mintages are very different. The steel cent here is minted over 400 million, whereas the zinc cent is minted closer to 38 million. So it's far harder to get. I don't typically hold on to them. This one looks pretty decent. I guess I'll take a look and see if this might upgrade in the album. So I'll put it over on the board as our first find. This guy, of course, is just going back into the cup here of my returns, all the steel and zinc sets that are going back. Here's a pretty decent looking 1982. There are 7 or 8 different varieties of this. This is the large date. You can tell by that 2, and the 2 is actually very close to the rim. But what we can't easily tell is this copper or is it zinc, and the only way to do that is to throw it on the scale. If it's copper, it's going to be 3.1 grams. If it's zinc, it's going to be about 2.5 or 2.52. 2.5, so that is the zinc cent. Still in roll 3, another one we're always looking for is the 1985 pointed 5. And we're looking at the end of the 5 here towards the stem of the maple leaf. And it's on an angle if you find the pointed 5. And that's a tougher one to find for sure. I've found a couple, but I've looked through tons and tons and tons of 1985s. And you're almost always going to find this one, the blunt 5. So make sure you're looking at those ones closely. You don't want to let that one slip through your fingers. I found a pretty uncirculated 2010, and when I put it under the scope here, it appears to have some sort of an issue. I don't think it's damage. I think this might be an issue in the manufacturing process, in the minting process. I think it might either have been struck through some kind of a debris on the coin, or it may also be an issue with the plating. It is very curious. It is, it almost looks like part of it has been flattened down, but it's partly in the field and partly on the devices, the bust of the queen. I'll hold that one aside. I don't think it's just a scrape or a scratch, and the rest of the coin looks pretty uncirculated. So this might be a struck through error or perhaps a plating error. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll also just find out which variety this is. This is going to be the plated zinc one, so it's not magnetic. So it would have a very thin copper plating on it, but it appears to have been not applied all the way through, or perhaps that copper plating is applied, but it's on an area that was struck through. Very interesting. Let me know what you think. So these rolls are ice cold and we are not getting much of anything. In fact, really nothing at all. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's hard to know if these rolls have been hunted previously or if this is just indicative of what kind of change was in somebody's piggy bank or who knows. But these rolls, we're not getting anything old. But might take a little bit of a break here and rally, hopefully. But I got a package from one of my subscribers, Scott, who just said he wanted to send me a few things that might be filling some holes in my collection. So I've just opened up the envelope. He didn't tell me what he was sending me, so this is going to be a surprise for me as well. I'll get them out and we'll take a quick peek. Wow, there is some really cool stuff in here. Not exactly what I was expecting. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but we got some banknotes and we've got some coins. So, well, first of all, you can see one of them is a blank planchet. And Scott, in his letter, told me that this is a zinc cent blank type 2 upset rims. I don't have, or at least I didn't have, a blank planchet in my collection. That is really awesome. And this other one here is a 2023 with the extra V. I'll throw this under the scope because this is another one I didn't have, but I have seen these on YouTube videos. There it is, 2023. And this is a Philadelphia, and yeah, you can see there is that extra V at the base of Lincoln's bust there. That is really awesome. So, wow, Scott, thank you so much for those. That is really cool. Definitely filling some holes in my collection. And then we got two sets of bills here. We have, we'll start with these silver certificates. There's two in each folder, he tells me. I think I got to get these out so we can look at them. So these two bills look very much the same, and the bottom one here is the 1935 C series. It's a 90-year-old note, and it looks to be in really nice condition. The one above is a 1957 B series, but there is one significant difference between the two if I flip them over. So this is the same design that we still see on bills today. But you'll note that the 1935 doesn't say "In God We Trust" above the one. The 1957 does. That is really cool. Wow. There are also two $2 bills. These are United States notes, and the designs are somewhat different. So this top one here is the 1928, almost 100 years old. Really, really cool. We can see there's the seal on the left, the big 2 on the right. The one below it here is the 1953. We've got the seal on the right-hand side and a smaller 2 here on the left. A little bit of writing on this one, but this one is, 1953. And again, we'll take a look at the back of these notes, and I think the back might be very similar, or in fact, the same for these two. We see Monticello like we see on the nickel there. Wow, some pretty cool old stuff. Some things from my collection that I didn't already have. So I have to say a huge thank you to Scott for sending these to me and for letting me share these with the rest of you. Thank you so much. Let's get back to this awful penny hunt. So we're already in roll number 10, and it was starting to look bleak. I didn't think we were going to get anything. We were hoping it was going to turn things around, but check it out. We got George, King George VI, finally showed up. We got a 1941, so we finally have a really good find for the board. I pulled out a really nice 2011. We've got that one I showed earlier that might have some sort of a planchet issue, and that 2009 zinc. But that's all we got so far, but we have more rolls to go. Hopefully there's more Georges to come to the party. Roll 12, there is a 2005 P, so that is a copper-plated steel cent. And the P is a bit harder to find. It's only minted at about 30 million, but there is a rare variety you want to check for, and that is a 2005 P that was accidentally made of zinc and isn't magnetic. That's not it. But always check your 2005 Ps. They're harder to come by anyhow. And when you do find one, definitely put the magnet to it because some zinc planchets slipped through and are incorrectly marked with the P. Roll number 16, we're going to get our very first laureate portrait. It looks pretty slick. So I don't know if this is going to be in the 50s. It is. It's a 1956. So one King George VI, one laureate portrait so far. We got 4.5 more rolls to go to see if we can salvage this hunt here. Well, that didn't take very long, just 2 coins back, and we got a 1962, our second laureate portrait. Maybe this roll is the good luck roll. Roll 17 will give us another find. It's another laureate portrait, this time 1961. So that's it for our 20 roll penny hunt. It started off pretty darn slow, and it looked for a while like we might not find anything. Well, we didn't come out completely empty-handed, and that's probably a good thing, but we were more heavily weighted towards zinc and steel than we were to copper, but we did get about 1.5 cups, a little bit more than that of copper. Got a short stack of US copper here, and maybe a little shy of a roll of US zinc cents. We did get a few nice ones to hold on to. We got a pretty nice 2009 zinc cent. We got a really nice 2010, 2011 there. And this one that I think might be a bit of a planchet error, possibly a struck through. That's a 2010, and it's a nice looking coin. It doesn't appear to be circulated, but it does have some issue with the planchet. So let me know what you think that is. We did find a few oldies. We found 3 laureate portraits, one in the 50s, 2 in the 60s. So we got a 56, 61, and a 62. And 1 King George VI, that is our oldest find, a 1941. And there is George right there. Some of you are probably going to ask, why would you even post this hunt when we really didn't find much of anything? And part of the reason for that is that I really do want to give you a very true sense of what coin roll hunting is like in Canada. These rolls are just representative of what you might get if you're fortunate enough to get coins from the bank. Every hunt isn't necessarily going to have rolls of King George VI or rolls of Queen Elizabeth laureate portraits. In fact, I've never really found that unless I've purchased some coins at an antique dealer or part of a collection or estate sale or something like that. But coin roll hunting, you just never know. People are typically putting all their stuff from their piggy bank and rolling it up and taking it to the bank. If you're fortunate enough to get rolls from your bank, you're just going to take what they have, and it might just depend on how long those coins were sitting in the piggy bank. You just never know. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Cadroll Hunter, hit that subscribe button and do that. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, go check out Fervid's Finds on YouTube as well. He is a newcomer to YouTube, and he'd appreciate your support. And definitely give the video a like. That helps the channel a lot. So once again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.